There's a nice splash of water in your face this morning on Friday, February 10th. Good morning. This is DJ Doc V. You're listening to Office Hours. Thanks for tuning in. Vaqueros, it is 10:02. We'll be with you for the next 60 minutes. But remember, after Office Hours, we've got the Feminist Hour coming up. So make sure you stay tuned for that. You just heard Madness with One Step Beyond, a little ska for you on Friday morning. It is 58 degrees here in the Edinburgh studio. Looks like it's going to be a nice day today, a high of about 64, and a similar temperature this weekend. Looks like a high of about 74 tomorrow, and then 70s and 80s going into next week. Got some great music picked out for you today. We're going all over the place. That was a quick, short one, little ska. We've got some Lou Reed. We've got some Alan Parsons Project coming up for you this hour, as well as we always do on Office Hours, This Day in History at the bottom of the hour, and then a poem from the 2021 Gallery Magazine, another fine production of UTRGV Student Media. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to Office Hours. We'll get the music started back up here with, strap in. This one's a little bit long, but that's the Drive-By Truckers with Easy on Yourself from the 89.3, the current in-studio record. That was Volume 2, the Drive-By Truckers. Before that, you heard Boston with Something About You from their epic, self-titled first album, which came out in 1976. Along with some of the greatest rock and roll of the 70s. More Than a Feeling, Peace of Mind, rock and roll band Smokin'. It was awesome, right? And then their follow-up in 1978, Don't Look Back. That was vocalist Brad Delp, along with members Tom Scholz, Gary Peel, Jeff Neal, Tommy DiCarlo, Tracy Ferry, and Beth Cohen and Curly Smith. What a great, great band. Tom Scholz, who originated that band, who founded the band, started writing music in 1969. It was a good year, 1969, while he was attending MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And that's where he joined the band Freehold, where he met the guitarist Barry Goudreau and drummer Jim Mazdea, who would later become members of Boston. Brad Delp joined that collective in 1970. So that was Something About You. And then we started off that set with Joe Walsh, formerly of the Eagles. That was his solo record, and the song Life's Been Good. Life is good. It's homecoming weekend this week here at UTRGV, so hopefully you're getting out there and participating in some of the activities. It was a rough night last night for the men's Vaquero basketball team. They dropped one to UT Arlington. They came close to coming back towards the end. They certainly fought like heck throughout the whole game, but just couldn't quite get there. They dropped one to UT Arlington, but they have another chance this weekend. It's a doubleheader, homecoming doubleheader. We've got women's basketball versus Abilene Christian. That's at 4 p.m. Tomorrow at the Fieldhouse. And then at 6:30 p.m., Stephen F. Austin's Lumberjacks come into town and face the men's basketball team at 6:30. The Battle of the Colleges during halftime at men's basketball game. Remember, faculty and staff can score 5 free tickets. It is a great time. Last night we had both the drum line and the pep band were out there, as well as the new Spirit Squad, including UTRGV dance team, the cheerleaders. It was great. A great time last time. And we will have during halftime tomorrow the free throw competition between the deans of the various colleges. So have to admit I'm a little biased. So I'll be rooting for Dean Walter Diaz from the College of Liberal Arts when he heads out there tomorrow night. Hopefully he can sink some buckets there and win this time. So. Yeah, he's been calling on the College of Liberal Arts faculty. I don't know if I'm going to go or not. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to go. I don't know. I went last night, so maybe. But I'm going to be handing out stuff tomorrow during the homecoming events. So make sure, remember, it's not just the basketball games. There's lots of stuff going on tomorrow at the Fieldhouse. There's games, there's music, there's face painting, there's all kinds of cool stuff happening tomorrow in the courtyard at the field house, starting at about 2 o'clock. So if you're not there, and then also tomorrow, it looks like the Die Hard Orange 5K is happening. That'll be out at Harlingen Collegiate High School at 8:30. If in case you're into that sort of thing, running's not my deal. If it's a running event, I'm usually running the other way. Yeah, I'm not going that way. So remember, homecoming royals will be mentioned tomorrow as well at the women's basketball game. The announcement of the royal court, a re-announcement of the royal court, will be at the men's basketball game at 6:30. So one ticket will get you into both basketball games tomorrow. So if you want to do a little doubleheader, head down there. Remember, there's a clear bag policy for those of you that go to the field house. So you'll have to have either your backpack or if you carry a purse with you, it'll need to be one of those clear ones. So make sure you follow the rules there. Back to the music here on Office Hours. I've got a little kind of an obscure one here from John Cale. This one's called Cordoba, and you'll only hear it on Vaquero Radio. That's Lou Reed with Wild Child here on Vaquero Radio. Thanks for tuning in, Vaqueros. This is DJ Doc V. Before that, you heard John Cale with a song called Cordoba. We got some great music still ahead, so don't go away. We've got Pink Floyd coming up here in just a second. So a little deep cut from the Obscured by Clouds album. But before that, as we do every week on Office Hours, it's This Day in History. And on this day, February 10th in 1996, after 3 hours, world chess champion Garry Kasparov loses the first game of a 6-game match against Deep Blue, an IBM computer capable of evaluating 200 million moves per second. Man was ultimately victorious over machine, however, as Kasparov bested Deep Blue in the match with 3 wins and 2 ties and took home the $400,000 prize. An estimated 6 million people worldwide followed the action online. That was February 10th, 1996. Also on this day in history, on February 10th, 2014, iconic child star Shirley Temple dies at the age of 85. She was a child in the 1930s and became one of Hollywood's most successful stars. She died at her Woodside, California home at age 85. In 1962, on February 10th, American spy pilot Francis Gary Powers is released by the Soviets in exchange for Soviet Colonel Rudolf Abel, a senior KGB spy who was caught in the United States 5 years earlier. On this day in 1846, with their leader assassinated and their homes under attack, the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormons, of Nauvoo, Illinois, began a long westward migration that eventually brings them to the Valley of the Great Salt Lake in Utah. That was in 1846. On this day in 1972, it was one of those events that virtually nobody witnessed, but many wish they had. The concert at London's Toby Jug Pub on February 10, 1972, when the relatively minor rocker at the time, named David Bowie, became the spaceman Ziggy Stardust. That was in 1972. In 1992, former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson, accused of raping 18-year-old beauty pageant contestant Desiree Washington, is found guilty by an Indiana jury. The following month, Tyson was given a 10-year prison sentence with 4 years suspended. And finally, on this day in 1966, auto safety crusader Ralph Nader testifies before Congress. He was a young lawyer and author of the groundbreaking book Unsafe at Any Speed: The Designed-In Dangers of the American Automobile. He testified before Congress for the first time about unsafe practices in the auto industry. Little known, well, I guess it's not a little known fact, but he focused particularly on the Chevrolet Corvair, which was, kind of a sporty car by Chevrolet. So part of the GM group, and GM put spies on him, following him around, trying to. This is Ralph Nader, right? Following Ralph Nader around, trying to discredit him, and really made his life miserable. In fact, so miserable that he ended up suing General Motors and winning, an undisclosed settlement, which he then used to start a bunch of public interest research groups, a bunch of nonprofits. And Ralph Nader, still kicking it today. He's in his 90s, former presidential candidate from the 1990s and 2000s. Ralph Nader, this day in 1966, testifying before Congress about auto safety or unsafety, I guess you could say in that case, right? So, all right, that's as we do every week, this day in history. But for now, let's get back to the music as promised. Here comes a little Pink Floyd. This is from the Obscured by Clouds soundtrack, which was the film La Vallée, a Barbet Schroeder film, foreign film. This is a song called Childhood's End. That's The Clash with Police on My Back here on Vaquero Radio. Before that, you heard the Smithereens with The World We Know from their Green Thoughts album. We started off that with Alan Parsons Project. Well, actually, Alan Parsons Project before that, Days Are Numbers. And then we started off that set with Pink Floyd and Childhood's End from the Obscured by Clouds LP from that Barbet Schroeder film La Vallée, The Valley Obscured by Clouds. Good morning, Vaqueros. DJ Doc V, 60 degrees here in beautiful Edinburgh. Blue skies out there. We're expecting blue skies, but windy conditions the rest of the day for a high of about 64 today. And then tomorrow back into the 70s for homecoming out at the field house. So make sure you come and celebrate with your fellow Vaqueros. Faculty, staff, students will all be there tomorrow at the field house to celebrate homecoming week. And a doubleheader with women's and men's basketball starting at 4 o'clock with the women's game. As we do every week, I've got a poem picked out for you. This is from A Gallery Magazine, another fine production of UTRGV Student Media. This is the 2021 edition, and a poem called Samsara by Emily Cerda. My left hand touches solid ground, while right holds up the sky. Life blooms beneath my palm as lightning erupts from the right. My left hand picks wild flowers while my right picks up a sword. I weave a wreath while blood-stained iron claims another foe. Moments, years, in 1,000 lifetimes I've seen everything. Between my eyes, millenniums of blue snow have fallen. Some lives were spent in carefree clouds and others in grim woods. Wing or hoof, paw or hand, I yearned for you in pale moonlight. The architects of fate always bloom along mortal's road, but misfortune only finds us when red petals open. My left hand grips yours firmly, but my right hand lets you go. Left reaches for your thread, but right takes from oblivion. I clasp my palms together, and my heart draws you back in. I will become a teardrop in your eye, a speck of dust on your cheek, a ragged scar on your mouth, more than willing. Finally, you and I are inseparable. That's a poem called Samsara by Emily Cerda from the Gallery Magazine edition 2021. Again, a great production of UTRGV Student Media. That's it for me, Vaqueros. DJ Doc V. Going to leave you with The Weekend. But stay tuned for DJ Morena Libre and the Feminist Hour coming up at 11 o'clock from our studios in Brownsville. Have a great day, Vaqueros.